Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, instructor for Intro to Microeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the chapters 15 and 16 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for our last set of activities for chapters 17 and 18. And then also I'm going to mention just briefly the final exam and kind of go over that with you just a little bit. All right, so like I said, I did finish grading the chapters 15 and 16 activities this morning. Go ahead and look at your grades for those activities as soon as you can. Read the corresponding grading comments. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did extremely well on the chapters 15 and 16 activities, so I was very pleased overall. It's obvious that a lot of you are putting the required time and effort in, and I really appreciate that. So keep up the good work on that. The discussion that we had for chapters 15 and 16 that dealt with farm subsidies and the advantages and disadvantages of them and the effects on other markets and so forth. I thought that discussion went really well. I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. And like I always tell you, I really appreciate the time and effort that you put into that. So keep up the good work on that. Let's see. On the chapters 15 and 16 test, some of you did well on that. Some of you didn't do so well. Just as a reminder, I know I always remind you about this, but I'll go ahead and do it again. You can take those chapter tests as many times as you want to up until the due date. Your highest grade on those is automatically recorded. So if you don't do well the first time, you can always take it again. You can take it as many times as you want to up until the due date. And so just kind of keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that those chapter tests will be opened up for review for you to use to study for the final exam as one of the learning resources to use to study for the final. So kind of keep that in mind as well. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. All right, so that brings us to what we've got coming up due for our last set of activities for this semester. So you'll notice right now we're on the kind of the middle of week 13 of the semester. All right. And next week is Thanksgiving week. That's week 14. There's nothing due next week. And so our last set of activities will be due that last week of classes before final exams. So that's week 15. So our next set of activities, you'll notice, are due during week 15. But even though they're not due until after the Thanksgiving break, it would be a good idea to go ahead and get started on those now, so that you're not having to try to rush around to get it done after the Thanksgiving break. So I would go ahead and get started on those activities for chapter 17 and 18. You have, of course, the assignment, test, and discussion that are all due by Wednesday, November 29th, which is basically the Wednesday after the Thanksgiving break. So it's not Wednesday of next week, but the Wednesday after. All right, so you've got a couple of weeks to do it, but you need to also remember that you've got the Thanksgiving break in there, kind of in the middle of that 2 weeks. And, of course, most of us are not going to be wanting to work on courses, do coursework during the Thanksgiving break. So kind of keep that in mind when you're kind of planning out, when you're going to work on these activities. Chapter 17, by the way, covers externalities and the environment. And we've talked about externalities, both negative and positive externalities, in previous chapters. But in this chapter, we're going to go into a lot more detail, and it's going to go into more specific types of externalities and how they affect the economy, and kind of the best way for externalities to be worked out in the economy. There's kind of a common, most efficient way of handling externalities, and it'll discuss that in chapter 17. Remember, an externality is just it can either be positive or negative, but it's basically an effect on a third party, not basically some party that's not part of the original transaction. So, for example, if you're buying a product from a store, you have those two people in the transaction. You have the store, and then you have yourself as the two parties to the transaction. But if that transaction affects a third party, either positively or negatively, then that's an externality. So an externality is just an effect of a transaction on a third party. Okay, so just keep in mind that's what Chapter 17 covers. And then Chapter 18 covers poverty and redistribution. Okay, so you're going to learn about how poverty is a part of the economy and redistribution of income and so forth. So kind of keep that in mind. So you've got Chapter 17 and 18 again. You've got the assignment, test, and discussion all due by Wednesday, November 29th. Remember, on the assignment page, I've linked the PowerPoint slides for you, so you can use those to kind of study the main concepts from the chapters. And then you've also got the videos that explain the main concepts from the chapters. All right. And the only other thing that we'll have after the Chapter 17 and 18 activities is the final exam. And of course, it's during final exam week, which is week 16 of the semester. And it will cover all the chapters that we've covered this semester, which are chapters 1 through 18. So it will be a comprehensive exam. And you'll take it online just like your other chapter test, and the same way you did your midterm exam. But there will be a time limit on the final exam. So kind of keep that in mind. That'll be available from Monday through Wednesday of final exam week, which is basically December 4th through the 6th. All right. And I will send everyone more specific information about the final exam early next week. Probably Monday of next week, I'll send that out. And so be looking for that. And that's really all I have for you for today. We just have really just a few weeks left, so keep pushing on. Keep doing good work, and we'll be through with this semester before you know it. So enjoy the rest of your week, and enjoy your Thanksgiving week, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you.